Welcome back to Skeleton Knight to Another World. Anime review episode number 6. Yes, 6. Excuse me. This one I'm discussing episode 6 for the anime. Excuse me. Learning about the darkness of this world at the Elf Village. Yep. Now I did check this. Now the first episode did partially adapt the first chapter of book 2 last week. This time it adapts pretty much the rest of it. No, seriously, that's what pretty much it does. So again, we left off last time where Ark and Arlene had arrived at the Elf Village. Basically, she actually has to go inside. Now, they do cut out that the male elf who we saw last episode is completely removed from the scene. Yeah, probably didn't need it. Yeah, he was probably unnecessary for this scene. Last episode was probably needed because he's an important official. This one probably didn't need it because it's Arlene. She's a daughter of an elder. Don't need to have an official there. It's completely necessary. So you have her pretty much spotted in line that Dakin said in the book about going. So regards to go inside, seeing a certain village elder, and she does. And we see Ark just training outside the village. Now, he couldn't exactly go in there at a particular point. She had to gain permission. And apparently it took almost an entire day before, basically, he is able to finally get inside. He goes inside, and he's completely amazed on how beautiful the Elf Village looks. The houses are kind of weird, and he points out something quite obvious. What's up with that magnificent tree? Oh, that's the home of the Elder. And then the Elder introduced himself. Yep, the Elder does. Yeah, this is actually the episode they introduced him, and you're probably thinking, who the heck is the Elder, you might ask? Well, his name is Dylan. Yes, Dylan Tanglikia. Yes. And introduce him and his wife, Genis. And of course, they reveal they are, in fact, Arlene's parents. Yep. And the thing is, Ark is not romantically involved with Arlene, and he basically is meeting her parents. And of course, they have dinner. They chat for a bit. Of course, they explain exactly what happened with the Marquis, and they cut out basically the conversation. Probably due to time. I don't mind they do something like this. Basically, like, oh, they probably explain it off screen. Don't have every single detail there, but it's perfectly fine with me. And then of course we have dinner. Yep. And of course, Genis points, hey, Arlene pointed out, she told us what happened to your body. You got your helmet. Takes off, eats the food, no problem. And then, of course, basically, Arlene and her father go to Maple. This, of course, is Lakia, one of the villages near you. Yes, this is Lakota. Yes. So, they go out to Maple, which is the capital of the Great Canada Forest. No, seriously, that's what they call this place, the Great Canada Forest. Name itself probably in name only reference to the real life Canada, which is way north from where I am. Yes. So, before we continue on with what happens with Ark, let's start with Arlene first, where she and her father go visit the elders in the Maple Village. And they pretty much explain. Now, a lot of the scene is pretty much intact from the book, which I do appreciate that. Where there's a bit of arguing, and the course basically it's decided that Arlene will not be punished, basically what happened to the Marquis, which that's what they call him in the book. In the anime, they refer to him as the Feudal Lord. Not really sure why in the world they changed his name for in the anime, but that's referred to as the anime for some reason. Even though, clearly, Marquis probably is a lot better of a title than a Feudal Lord. A feudal lord is something associated with Japan, not with Dark Ages UK, Dark Ages Europe. Yes, so, and of course, Ark will be officially hired to be Arlene's companion. And then of course, like, oh, we're also gonna see Even. Who's Even, you might ask? Arlene's sister. Yes. Her beautiful older sister. Yeah, and they don't exactly say what the guy's job is. In the book, they say that he is in fact a farmer. They describe him as a strong, simple-minded man, but a bit of a goofball. That's how they describe him in the anime. It's very vague. In the book, like, oh yeah, it's a farmer. That's who she's marrying. And there's a scene that happens when she meets up with her younger sister, where she tackles her and buries her face in Arlene's chest. Now you might be thinking, did this happen in the book? Yes, it did. As a matter of fact, it's a whole illustration of her tackling her doing this. And of course, she insists on having her called Big Sis, despite the fact Arlene clearly looks like she could be the middle sister, given the fact her chest size is bigger. But no, Even is the older sister. Yeah, this is interesting, though, the fact she introduced in book 2 and end. Now, the thing is, looking at her appearance-wise, she looks very similar to her mother. Guinness. Yes. Yeah. And then they leave there. And then before we happen next, which, by the way, basically, next time seeing Arlene is a complete anime original scene, which I'll get to. So, you have Arc basically talking to Arlene's mom, which he does not point out, like, Arlene looks exactly like you. And she does. So they walk around the village. Of course, she calls him Arkun, or at least Arnki. That's what she calls him, Arnki. And of course, he just by sheer coincidence, runs into two little girls he just met a couple episodes back. The ones who he rescued. And of course, people are a little worried about him because he's human. And then, of course, there's a sparring match. And of course, Ark probably realizes, though, that he should not seriously harm her because this is his companion's mother. Yep. And apparently, she's the one who taught Arlene's swordplay. Not the father. She did. I'm like, okay, that's different. Because normally, whoever usually the sword instructors are, a lot of the time in anime, usually it's a guy. That's usually the way it is a lot of the time. This is probably one of those rare occasions where it's basically done by a woman. And of course, he gets success. Like, oh, bath time! He's like so happy because he's not experiencing the bath. Like you can clean ponytail too. Of course, you see him like relaxing in the bath, which is so hilarious. Which, by the way, this scene is complete anime original, not in the book itself. By the way, there's a small section of the book they actually went to the end of the episode. For some reason they do this. I'm not really sure why, but they do. I thought it was kind of weird. It's like the mid-section of the book. I'll get to that. So he's relaxed in the bath, and then Arlene comes. She takes off all of her clothes, and then she's spooked like, oh crap, there's a skeleton in my bath. It's Ark. And they blush blood, and they do not talk about it at all. No, seriously, they do not discuss this at all. Which, I'm like, damn, Ark, you just saw a beautiful woman butt naked, and you barely have a reaction to it. And of course, basically, this is where they detail something that actually is in the book. Because the scene that happened just prior to this, they moved to the end of the episode, I'll get to that. This one basically discussed, they can't really afford to pay him very much because he's got lots of money anyway, he's already rich. But they pay him information. I'm like, okay. So go to this dragonkin tree, and that should help you cure your curse. Okay. And of course, they have dinner, and then of course he goes to sleep, and he tries to use the Undying Curse on himself, and it partially restores his arm. By the way, this probably is the first episode we see Ark without his armor on. Yeah, it takes 6 episodes to see him finally have the complete armor off. Yeah, we see him in bed, which, given the fact he's he's staying in a lot of these episodes, why not? And he's like shocked to see that it kind of works in him, though in the book is actually temporarily. Though they do cut the bit out. They'll probably save it for next week's episode. Excuse me. Yeah. Really good episode, and definitely can't wait for next week. Yep. I'm going to end it here because it's already late, so expect to see, because right now, I should point out it's actually at midnight right now, so I'm going to basically continue this later, probably in about 10 hours maybe. Actually, more like about 11 hours from now. Well, I'll do my 2 comic corners that I really want to do. Yep, next video. Bye.